Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio on this? If I haven't clicked the wrong button? Maybe? Yes? Thanks. Hello, everybody. This is Marilyn, and it's time for the noon edition of Welcome to My World. This is the 9th of March, and it is Thursday. So we only have one more day this week in our wonderful trading land. And this has been kind of an interesting morning, I think. These indices all seem to be pretty much on the same page. They haven't been the easiest to trade, but there have been some ticks available, that's for sure. Gold has been a bit choppy this morning, and the dollar also. The 30-year bond auction is at 1:01 this afternoon, which accounts for bonds not being quite as nice as they can be. So that last half hour today in bonds might set bonds up, especially for the evening and overnight. And then tomorrow, maybe they'll be just a little bit more clear on some of these signals. Let's see here. What do we have that's exciting today? Some of the currencies have moved a little bit, in particular the euro. This morning at 8:30 was a European Central Bank press conference, and I did not check because I don't trade the euro, but I know somebody got a couple of really nice trades on the 6E this morning, and if you want to see those trades, I believe they put a screenshot up higher in the chat than where we are now. But when these, if you monitor when the central bank in Europe or a big one, if you monitor the DAX, when the Bund Bank is announcing anything public about their any rate changes or something they may be looking to do, they make a big public announcement, and sometimes those affected markets can get really nice to trade, whereas other times it's on and off. But the euro this morning definitely moved up, and so the news, whatever that press conference was, must have been favorably seen. The unemployment claims are up a little bit this morning. It didn't seem to do too much to the indices, but things are just kind of chopping around here. And then we had the nat gas report was out this morning, and it's down a little bit. So, well, in fact, it's down from the forecast a little bit, but it's definitely way down from the previous. So I guess that means that winter is over. It's one of the wonderful things we can guess from some of these reports that come out for those of you who live in the frigid part of the world. There's a couple things I wanted to point out to you. Let's see, I've got a question. Mike wants to know about my yellow dashes on my chart. I love those things, Mike. I may be a little crazy, but I know the operative word there is may. Those are on the trend catcher indicator, and what I've done is I've modified some of the colors and turned off some stuff on this trend catcher. One of the things you have to understand is that you cannot take every one of those as a confirmed entry just because Trendcatcher says so. But if, for example, you have noticed that crude oil right here has gone up here and it's put in this swing high would have started to form, and you're looking at the VAD. Let me get the VAD just a little better on this chart. Yeah, and you're looking at the VAD and you see the VAD not only has it flipped right here, but it is starting to exceed the previous VADs over here. You've got a pretty good shot this thing is going down, so that's what you're looking for, is a down entry based on the VAD. And let's see, this is at 9:20. So if you're back over here someplace about 9:30, this is starting to come off of the half deviation right here. And then when you see this forming right here, and you are already thinking of a short entry because this is starting to get bigger than at the previous, then this would give you an entry spot. And I kind of like to double check this 6 tick for these, especially these kinds of days. And right here, this is when the 6 tick had started to make its first of a reversal with this, I think Lou calls this grapefruit pink. It's the pale pink that identifies this as the first apex formation after they had all been green. So anyway, that's what they're there for. But as you see, this bunch of junk in here is just so choppy. So that's why I say just take that with a grain of salt. And I'll show you on the indicators where I've got that thing turned on. It is Trendcatcher. Number 1, I changed the colors. This is colors for lines. And I mean, I already know if I'm thinking up or down. I don't need these to be, don't need a whole bunch of red and green and red and green. So I just want to know that where that price level is. The price level that would confirm to me that this would be an entry level. So the other thing is you can turn off a bunch of this stuff and turn on what you want in here, so you don't have every single thing known to mankind. That's one thing. These indicators are really, really, really accurate and really good, but boy, you can get into overwhelm pretty darn fast with them. The other thing is that I wanted to show you is on this 30-minute chart, there's a whole hour where crude oil, let's see, this is from, this would be the bar that started at 11 to 11:30, and this is the one that started 11:30 to 12, so now we just got the new. But these 2 doji formations right there in a row, and they're real teeny-weeny little dojis, that's also telling you that you're in so much chop that you don't even go there, because all it's going to do is gobble you up and spit you out. That's when the bus driver just sprays diesel all over you and convinces you that getting on his bus is not a good idea. So, let's see now for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be Friday, the 10th. And 4:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock, 4:30, all the wonderful early hours. There's a lot of stuff coming out of the UK. And so if you like to trade anything with the British pound cross, that's probably or the 6B, that's probably a pretty good time to take a look at that. At 8:30 tomorrow we've got some big time numbers, so do not be jumping into a trade at the stroke of 8:30. And if you're in one, I really suggest you tighten up your stops on that, because at 8:30 is the unemployment rate, and that's going to be very closely watched. And then we've also got non-farm employment change and the average hourly earnings, and that's going to be reported as a percentage of up or down. Then Canadian also, the Canadians have their unemployment rate and the unemployment change. So the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, and I'm sure I haven't checked it myself personally today, but the Apex website will probably have a great trade on with the strategy and everything laid out for you on that US CAD cross. So anyway, I see Lori's typing in here, yes, and the big time news is that I know this has been anxiously awaited, but it looks like they're going to get this order print out sometime next week. And there is an enormous push on it, so just keep the faith here. It's on its way. If this was Christmas time, I would tell you that Santa was bringing it, but we're past that, so I don't know. We don't want to wait for the Easter Bunny, but we're definitely getting that out to everybody that's in this room. Will definitely have access to that. Prayerfully, first part of the week, but if not, it will be next week. I think the confidence level on next week is is pretty significant. These poor programmers, Lori has them beaten into a pulp over this. So anyway, you know, and it's like Daryl says, you want it to be right when it comes out instead of putting it out and it's got a whole bunch of bugs in it. That could have been fixed earlier if we'd just been a little more patient. So I hope everybody is figuring out that one of the biggest P's in trading is this patience thing, and it does take, it tries your patience, and it takes a lot of patience. So anyway, we still can't get this VIX very excited. This poor VIX is still not even up to 12. So time will tell. And gold has sold off, crude oil has sold off. These commodities are being beaten to a pulp. So next week will probably be pretty exciting. Midweek next week, stand by, because we've got FOMAC. And that'll be Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And that's a significant news event. So we'll have a lot more out on that. Also, I think coming up over the weekend, and there'll be a notice. Some of you probably got the notice when you opened up your NinjaTrader about the roll of the indices. They are just about to roll into the June month. So for especially the people trading Nadex, just stay where you are until Tony puts a post in the room, and then it'll also pop up in front of your face when you open up your NinjaTrader to make sure everybody is trading the correct contract. If you're new here, these contract rolls are extremely important, and there is a post in the forum on exactly how to do that. Sometimes the Nadex rolls a little bit earlier than the futures people, and there's a trick to getting that thing rolled. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, I really recommend that when you come to a stopping point, you get into that forum and find out how to roll your contracts on your NinjaTrader charts. So, and somebody had a question earlier about they had opened up a chart on crude oil and it came up blank with no data. And they had verified they were on the correct month. Crude oil right now is trading April month. Sometimes that can happen, and the fix is, which we all should be doing, and everybody will end up doing this sooner or later. It's just a matter of when you get to doing it, and that is before you open up all your charts in the morning, you open up your workspace by having previously used the Apex Icon Toolkit tool to clear all NinjaTrader cache, and then reboot your computer, and then open up your NinjaTrader and connect your data feed and open up your workspace. That's just one of the little tidbits that absolutely must be done to make sure. The reason for this, I know it's a pain, but the reason for this is that the Apex indicators are so incredibly accurate because they are going tick by tick. And I don't know where else you're going to get that kind of information, unless, of course, you want to pay an astronomical annual fee. And I'm talking about tens of thousands of dollars for all this stuff. So, because the indicators are formulated off of tick-by-tick data, if you get one bad tick, just one is all it takes, it will really mess up your charts and loading time and all that stuff. So, yeah. Jason's caught on to this. We all catch on to this, believe me. So, yeah, thanks, Jason, for reminding everybody, because